What is going on, you freaking awesome people? Welcome back to Operation Self Reset. My name is Jake Naraki, coming to you live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where each and every week we dive into the world of personal development so you can become better just by 1%. Now, today we're going to be really diving deep into something. This is a tactical podcast. This is not a traditional feel-good, motivational, quote, story-rich podcast. This is something that I've been working on for about the last 4 months, and it has truly impacted the way that I operate, the way that I set up my day, the way that I get focused, the way that my productivity is increased, and the way that I'm juggling many different hats. Now, if you don't know anything about me, I work for the fire department. I'm a father of 3 children, married. I own real estate. I'm doing a lot of different things that are taking away from my time. So I need to make sure that I'm personally focused in the embark and through the transition of becoming better. And so today is nothing more than a tactical version for you. As you know, when it comes to developing thyself, a lot of experts suggest that every morning we sit down and we journal. We sit down and we read. We exercise. We get focused. We think of the 3 most the 3 most important things that we need to do in that day. And I think that's all good and well. But unfortunately, some of us, like myself, our mornings are a train wreck. They are just out of control. They're either A, you're not a morning person, or B, that you are a morning person, but because of your work schedule and because of the family that you have currently, because of other obligations, you're not able to wake up at that early 4:30 a.m. and have an hour and a half of quiet time before you start your day. Now, if you have that luxury, kudos to you. Hopefully you're taking advantage of it. But if you don't, then this will be very tactical for you. But also, too, for the individuals that already have a morning routine, for the individuals that are already doing great things in their lives, this is maybe a way to shake it up a little bit, maybe to keep it fresh, and a new perspective on the best way to set up your day is truly starting it the night before. It sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. So before we begin, again, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time and listening to the show. And also, too, if you have a second, please go to iTunes and leave a review. It'd be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to hit 300 reviews for the rest of 2017. And if you could help me in that journey, it'd be greatly appreciated. Now, like I said in the beginning of this show, it's very tactical. This is something that you may want to listen now and then come back to later tonight when you have time to write down things. Because I know right now you're probably driving in a car or exercising or doing some other obligation where you're not going to be able to write down what I'm saying or my theory behind it. So let's get started in the whole concept of why we need to set up our day the night before. Now, if you remember when you're a young lad, a young child, my parents in particular would always force me to make sure that my school bag was packed, make sure my school clothes were laid out, make sure my hockey bag was all put together, make sure everything was in alignment. So when I would wake up in the morning, I would jump out of bed, I already knew what I was going to wear, I knew what kind of breakfast I was going to have, my bags were packed, I was ready to go outside of the door. And so obviously that instilled the practice of setting up your day before. So when you wake up, you're not trying to make decisions. When you wake up, you're not thinking, well, should I go left or should I go right or should I go up or down or whatever the decisions that are in your world, they're already made the night before. So you can utilize and save that willpower for the greater good of the embark in the journey of just getting through the day. As one famous person has said, the morning and the evening are the only quiet times of the day. Everything else between that is absolute chaos. And isn't that true? We all go into our day with a plan or a game plan of 3 to 5, 20 items that we want to accomplish, and then a flat tire happens, and then our kids are sick, and then we totally forgot about a meeting that wasn't in our calendar, and things just get out of control. Been there, done that, we can all agree, right? So this is truly a framework that will connect with you in a deep way personally, and also to make sure that your next day is awesome. Now, the system that I have in place is called SLEEPS. SLEEPS, okay? SLEEPS. SLEEPS. Okay, sleeps. Obviously, now there's a reason why I said sleeps instead of sleep, but I think it's very easy outline that will assist all of us in making sure that we are embarking on the right journey. Now, as a caveat here, as a deviation, as a timeout of the podcast, as I am recording this show, I am also filming myself for a YouTube video. So if I sound a little disengaged, or if you hear markers going in the background, or if I pause a little longer than normal, it's not because I totally forgot what I'm saying. I am actually writing things down on a big whiteboard next to me in my office here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So with that being said, let's get into the tactical framework here. So obviously sleeps. Each letter represents a different actionable step. Now, the game plan is that before you go to bed, you are going to write out sleeps on a journal, on your computer, your tablet, your phone, whatever, vertical, right? And so as each letter represents a different tactical objective. So let's go through it briefly, and then we'll dive deep into each one. The first one is smile, okay? S for smile. The second one is learn. The third letter, which is E, that's exercise. The fourth letter is execute. The fifth letter is P for phone call. And the last S is smile. Now let's break it down into a systematical approach. There are two sides to this coin. As you can visualize or see right here, sleeps is in a vertical format. I want you to imagine that you are drawing a line under the letter L. L again is for learn, okay? Now the reason why we're doing that is because the first S and the second L, or the second letter L, is a reflection of the day. Okay, it's a reflection of the day. If you look through the research, the documentation from all different types of hospitals, from all different philosophers, from all different types of educational specialists, they say gratitude is one of those things that you and I need to continuously go over every single day, multiple times, to get ourselves in a state of gratitude, a state of joy, a state of happiness, a state of bliss. And so the smile is nothing more than for you to write down one thing that made you smile. Again, the S and the L is a reflection of what happened today. Okay, as in this, I'm going to write this out tonight. So this S and the L is a reflection of what happened today. The S is for smile. I want you to think of one thing that made you smile today. Just one thing. Now you're thinking, well, there's 1,000 things that happened. And when I first made this framework, I had 17. I had 3 objectives for each, and it was just getting so long and so daunting. I want to keep it simple. The KISS method. Keep it simple, silly. Or stupid, whatever you want to call it. But truly, the easier we make this, the easier for you to implement into your own personal world. So again, the first letter is S for smile. I want you to think right now, and what made you smile up to this point of you listening to this podcast? There has to be something. A delicious breakfast, an interaction with your spouse, kissing your kids on the forehead before you go, checking an email and you got something funny from somebody. There had to be something that truly made you smile, okay? Now again, this is a reflection of the whole day, so there should be something in your day that made you smile. Now obviously, there's some crazy things that happen in our world, but there is still something that we can smile about regardless, all right? The second letter is L. L for learned, okay? L for learned. Every single day that you and I live is an opportunity for us to gather more tools for the toolbox, to gather more experiences, to gather ideas, things that we should have done, that we could have done, the things that we implemented but it didn't work. Learn is nothing more than understanding, hey, this went really well today, but I could make it better. Or hey, this went really horrible, but I can make it better next time. What did you learn today? So the first 2 letters here, S and L, are truly a reflection and a learning process of what happened today. Because as you know, these days go by so incredibly fast. If you do not document, if you do not reflect, the day wipes by and you're thinking about the next day. All of us, some way, somehow, are achievers. All of us are trying to strive for the next thing. All of us are thinking in the future. Yes, of course, we get caught up in the past at times, but majority of us are always thinking about the next thing. We're thinking about tomorrow. And yes, in this framework here, we will We'll fast forward tomorrow. But for right now, we need to reflect on what happened today so we can gather our systematical approach. We can gather what we're trying to think of so we can launch into tomorrow with excellence, with awesomeness, with a true opportunity of bringing it. Okay? So again, the first S is smile. The second letter is L for learned. Think of one thing for each. You should be able to think of one thing no matter what. Like I said early on, I thought of writing down 3 things. It was just getting too long and complicated. So let's keep it simple. One thing that made you smile, one thing that made you learn. Fair enough? All right, awesome. Now let's move into kind of the part 2, which is for tomorrow. Okay? So this part right here, the EEPS, this is all for tomorrow, in preparation for tomorrow. Now the reason why I separated it is because, again, there needs to be time to reflect on what happened today, so we gather it, we can process it, and we can learn from it. And the second part here is obviously we're kind of springboarding into tomorrow. And again, in reflection here, I'll kind of break it down again. The first E is exercise. The second E is execute. The P is for phone call, and the last S is for smile once again. Now, the reason why this is very powerful, the second part here, is because there was a philosopher, or excuse me, a psychologist from Russia, and she started studying the human brain. And the one thing that she realized is that you and I have this system called open and closed loops. And open loops is nothing more than understanding that when we do not complete a task, our mind subconsciously works on it until we close that loop. Okay? Now you're thinking, well, Jake, I start a lot of projects, I do a lot of things, and for some odd reason, I'm not able to complete them all the time. But why is it that I feel mentally clear on not able to completing them, but yet you're saying that all of us have this open loop system? The open loop is nothing more, again here, nothing more than our subconscious mind trying to close it. We're trying to figure out how to shut off that loop so we can move forward in our journey and open new loops in the form of a conversation, open a new loop in a form of a project, open a new loop in a form of a workout session. Because as you know, when you embark on a new event in your individual day, usually you will try to complete it somewhat. Sometimes you don't follow through, but there's a whole another systematical approach mentally to that, and I don't want to get into the details. But needless to say, we have open and closed loops. And right now, because we are prepping this the night before, we're creating new open loops. And the reason why we're opening a loop before we go to bed is so when we are sleeping, we have our subconscious mind trying to make sure that we implement and close the loops that we opened tonight. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? Now, the first E is exercise. Why exercise, and why are we doing this before we go to bed? Every single personal development book, every single author, every single influencer, every single inventor, every single person that is creating an impact on the world has a time that they guard like no other as their sacred time to work on themselves. Now you're thinking, well, Jake, I don't like to work out. Working out, exercising doesn't have to be lifting weights or deadlifting 1,000 pounds or doing CrossFit or anything like that. It can truly be going for a walk, walking your dog, stretching, yoga, meditation, anything like that that you personally, quote unquote, kind of set aside as your exercise. If you guard that time and if you set up your exercise in advance before your day even starts, what do you think the chances are of you completing that task? I would say almost 1,000%, batting 1,000%, right? That would be amazing because again, we're opening a new loop. And if you can say to yourself, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I gotta eat, and I gotta take the kids to school, and then I got that first meeting. There may be a time I could go for about a 45-minute walk at 10:30 a.m. So as you mentally think of that, you write it down. You think walk at 10:45 a.m. and we're going to walk for 45 minutes or whatever the heck I said. If I jumbled it off, no big deal. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. The first E is exercise. If you can guard that time and to solidify it into your schedule, saying, you know what, tomorrow at 10:15, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my butt outside, go for that walk. Or at 12 o'clock noon, I'm going to make sure I drive my butt over to that CrossFit gym and I work out for a half an hour and then I come back and I'm ready to go for part 2 of my day. If you can solidify and put this into your schedule like no other and guard that piece of pie, your life will be that much better. Your productivity will increase. We all know the great things that happen when you exercise, all the great chemicals that are released into the body, the focus, the motivation, the confidence, the self-esteem, all those keywords that we all strive for, that we think we can just learn in a book or watch on a video, happens when we truly exercise. It is a very, very powerful tool that we're doing, but we could do a better job of making sure that we accomplish every single day, right? Wouldn't it be amazing if you could exercise 7 days a week? And you're thinking, well, Jake, research shows that you shouldn't be exercising 7 days a week because, it can be a strain on your body. Look, our bodies are designed to move. Our bodies are designed to be mobile. They're not designed to be sitting for 8 hours a day and then for you to sit in your car, for you just to get home and sit on your butt, to eat dinner, and then to sit on the couch. And then you do something different. You actually lay down instead of sit when you go to bed, right? And so we need to incorporate exercise in our lives every single day. And to mind you, this sleep routine is not designed just Monday through Friday. This sleep routine is designed 7 days a week. Oh my gosh, Jake, it's so horrible. I can't do it 7 days a week. Are you kidding me? You can. 7 days a week. It will be tough in the beginning. It'll get a little easier, and then it'll become a habit and a routine. Give it a try for at least 7 days, okay? So, all right. So again, the first S is for smile. The next letter is L for learn, okay? That was a reflection of the day. Now we are springboarding it into tomorrow. We're opening up loops to get our subconscious mind to work with us. Our first E is exercise. Safeguard that time. When are you going to exercise tomorrow in your life? The next E is execute. This is where the meat and potatoes are. There are a lot of theories on how to plan out your day, from systematical charts to daily journals to calendars, all different types of things. The biggest research is focused down and boiled down into 4 objectives that we can accomplish every single day. 4 objectives, okay? So I want you to imagine you writing down your top 3 objectives, okay? Your 1, 2, and 3. The things that you need to accomplish for tomorrow. It could be an email, it could be a book, it could be connecting, going to that meeting, it could be phoning somebody for a customer relationship, whatever it is. You know your schedule more than I do. Just write down your top 3 ideas. Fair enough? Now you're thinking, Jake, but you said 4 ideas. The 4th is the must. The thing that you must do, okay? No matter what. No matter if you break your leg, you get in a car accident, a little fender bender, of course, you're not feeling well, something that you must do. You have to accomplish no matter what. And you're thinking, well, Jake, life throws a lot of curveballs. How can you say you must do? If you safeguard that, just like your exercise, and if you know tomorrow you have to do this no matter what, if you plan your day fully around your must, that other things will fall in alignment to associate with that must. If you can accomplish that must, the 1, 2, and 3 other objectives that you have will go like pie. They'll go really, really easy. Now, the reason why we have a must is because if we don't focus our attention on one specific item, we totally lose the cards. We lose the house. There's a classic book that's very famous and very well known. It's called The One Thing by Jay Papazian, and they basically focus, the whole book is understanding what is that one thing that you must do on a regular basis for you to achieve that goal, for you to grow a bigger business, for you to get very health conscious, for you to have a better relationship, whatever it is, that one thing. So your must is truly, aka that one thing in your life that you have to accomplish for tomorrow. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. Truly, full-heartedly, that one thing you have to accomplish. All right? So there you go. So we have our first E, which is exercise. We have our second E, which is your execute. We're going to execute 3 ideas, but then we have our must item, our one thing that we have to accomplish for tomorrow. So I think all of us can agree, we can knock out 4 things. We can knock out 4 ideas. There's no reason why we can't have 4 objectives in our day. because I know, like you and myself, we juggle a million different things and we're able to accomplish a lot. But the thing is, how deep is our work going? And these 4 objectives can be a little deeper than taking the kids to soccer practice or going out to lunch or making sure I have coffee in the morning. We're talking tactical objectives that can truly make your day a W. A big old W. That is what we're going for, a win. Okay, we want the day to be a win. All right. So it would be wrong for me to tactically always say, okay, hit out your 3 items and then your must, and then now we're going to, I want you to put in your schedule, we're going to read for 4 hours and we're going to do all this other crazy stuff. Look, I'm trying to keep this system simple. Okay, sleeps is nothing more than a foundational step that you and I need to do every night before we go to bed. The first L is smile, reflection of the day. The second letter is L, learn. What did you learn from the previous day to work on, to gather, to become better at? And then tactically, a springboard into tomorrow is the E for exercise. Safeguard that bad boy like no matter what. The second E is execute. What are your top 3 items? And then your number 1, your big must do to get that W, to get that win for the day. So the 5th letter is P. You're thinking, P, what the heck is a P for? P is for a phone call, okay? A phone call. All right, I'm writing this down. Phone call. Now, why a phone call? We already understand the power of gratitude. We understand the power of giving appreciation. We understand the power of making other people feel good. The more you give, the more you receive. How awesome would it be that if you were going through your regular day, I'm going to pump the brakes here. Take, for example, your day yesterday. Let's reflect on your day yesterday. There's probably during some peaks and valleys of the day, right? There's some moments that where you're really happy, some moments you're really sad or like, it's not working out or whatever. How amazing would it be if you got a phone call or a text message from somebody that cares for you? Somebody that's a family member, a coworker, an old friend, a new friend, an old roommate, a new roommate, a parent, a relative, whatever, that said, hey Jake, man, I really appreciate you. Keep up the great work. You're doing some cool stuff in the world. How awesome would it be to get that message? Now, obviously, the message may vary. It could be long or short or whatever, but wouldn't it feel good to your psyche? Wouldn't it feel good to your soul? Wouldn't it feel good just for your morale for that day? A simple message, a simple phone call can truly impact somebody's life. And the great part is it's free, it's cheap. You know the person already, you know what they're about. And I know that it would make a huge, huge impact. So before you go to bed, I want you to think of who could you call tomorrow or text and say, hey, you know what, it was so nice to see you this past weekend. Or, hey, thanks for coming by my business yesterday. It was great to see you and your family. Or, hey, I just want to let you know you did a great job on that project last week. You knocked it out of the park. Something simple, something easy, something precise. And so the whole reason why I want you to write down in your journal or on that sheet of paper or in your phone, tablet, whatever, of your P, which is your phone call, is because when you're going throughout your day, it's hard to think of, who could I call today? Or who is that person? Especially in a day of chaos. Remember, like I said, the morning and the afternoon are the bookends of calm. Everything else in between is absolutely chaotic. And so, just like your exercise, you can send a message. You can send a text message. You can make a phone call that literally takes a minute. Chances are they're not even going to answer their phone anyway. So how great would it be if you could give appreciation, gratitude, a congratulations, a heads up, a great job, a pat on the back to somebody that you know that's in your phone book right now. For example, if you own real estate and you have tenants and you're thinking, well, I already use all my friends, I use all my coworkers, I use my family, blah, blah, blah. I used everybody I know, Jake. I don't have anybody else. Well, if you have tenants, you could send it to your tenants and say, hey, thanks for paying your rent this month. It means a lot to me. This was a tough month for me, or it's just great to know that you're always on time, or you do a great job of cleaning up after yourself. Whatever it is. It can be simple. It can be complex. It doesn't matter. The more you give, the more you receive. And how amazing would it be if you could open up your phone and send that message to somebody and you knew it would light up their day, and they respond with, wow, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Wow, that really made an impact today. Thank you so much. Thank you for, taking the couple of seconds to write that message. Wouldn't it feel good for you too? Yes, it would. Stop lying to yourself, people. It's time to get outside of your comfort zone, right? The one thing that I say is get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And if you want to do something a little uncomfortable, just give appreciation, give gratitude. One thing that I share in all my speaking engagements is I tell people to take out their cell phone and to text somebody that is in their Rolodex of their cell phone, I love you. Just straight up, I love you, no strings attached. Not like, oh, this weird speaker, made me force me to send you a text message. And it's so funny and sad at the same time of the responses people send back. Is everything okay? Usually, a lot of people say, what's wrong? Where are you? How much money do you need? Those are always the funny ones that we experience in those events. And so again, the phone call is nothing more than gratitude, appreciation that you're throwing at somebody else, because again, the more you give, the more you shall receive, and it just makes you feel good straight up. It makes you feel good, okay? And the last one here, the last S, is for smile again. Now, why did I include the smile at the end of this whole routine? Well, when I first started this whole process, I started with sleep. I figured sleep was a good framework. It's before I go to bed, before I sleep. I felt that these were 5 areas we could all focus in on. It would be, productivity, it would be gratitude, learning, becoming, improving. All those different keywords are kind of really crunched in this 5 letters of sleep. But the bad part was when I went to bed, I wasn't thinking about what made me smile today. I wasn't thinking about what made me learn or what did I learn today. I was really kind of figuring out, my phone call, when I was going to plan that. I was really thinking of the tactical things that I need to go tomorrow. And my mind was very busy. But yet, through the journey of going through the sleep, I remember the funnest part of writing, the starting out with the journal or this method was truly the ask for smile. I could write down more than one thing. I could write down 7 things that made me smile. And you know what the crazy part was? When I was writing down the things that made me smile, it made me smile at 10:30 at night, at 11:30 at night, at 9:30 at night, whenever I started to do this. I really did. And how amazing does it feel to go to bed with a smile on your face instead of feeling depressed or angry or frustrated or concerned or all different types of things that truly just boggle your mind. And so, the thing that I want to end the whole cycle with is, again, a second objective that made you smile on a reflection of the day. Because again, these days are precious. We all understand that, but only until you have a tragedy, only until you go through something terrible, only until you realize you don't have too many days left, do you start to appreciate the day that you went through. And so instead of always leapfrogging and thinking of the future, I want us to reflect one more time on something that made you smile. Because I know full-heartedly that if you think about a moment that made you smile in the previous day, you will smile. And when you smile going to bed, you're going to go to bed sleeper or sleeper. You're going to go to bed faster. You're going to go to bed with a clear mind. You're going to go to bed with gratitude and appreciation and how lucky you are to be alive, to be a part of this world. Too many times in the personal development space, we get caught up in the logistics and the tactical and the head down, grinding your face off, doing the hustle, all that stuff. But how amazing would it be if you could go to bed with truly a genuine smile from an experience that you had with a coworker, a friend, a family member, or your kids, your own hockey team or football team that you participate in, that you just really enjoyed. I think we can all agree and go, yeah, you know what, that's a good move right there. So in summary, is sleeps. We start with S, one thing that made us smile today. The second thing is L. What did we learn from today? And it could be a sentence, it could be a paragraph, it could be one word, it could be something that we need to implement and do better personally. It could be something that we have to do better in the world of our job. It has to be maybe something better with our relationships or our kids or wherever the case may be. But truly, what did you learn today? Now, to leapfrog in tomorrow, we have our first E, which is exercise. We all know the benefits of exercising. It's good for the body, it allows longevity, it makes us feel good, we have better focus, productivity, motivation, confidence, all those things we strive for. It can be done with a general exercise. And I'm not expecting you guys to do anything crazy. It can be going for a walk, stretching, meditation, yoga, a hardcore workout, whatever you want to do, but you need to safeguard that time. You truly need to make that the most important thing of the day. If that's why I put exercise before the execute of the tactical things, because if you lose your health, you are unable to do your must work or your top 3 work or your biggest thing that you have to do for tomorrow. If you're ill, if you're sick, if you're diabetic, you have all these complications. What good is your next day full of productivity? It's going to be useless, right? It's going to be worthless. You're not going to have the energy for it. So that is why E for exercise is first as opposed to execute. All right, so the second E is execute. Again, write down your top 3 items that you have to do, and then write down your one must item. That one thing that you have to do today to make, or tomorrow, again, this is for tomorrow, the one thing you have to do tomorrow to make sure that it's a win, a big old W in your book, okay? We got to win the day. The P is a phone call. I want you to think of who that person is you're going to call or text and what time you're going to do it. And you should already have their contact information in your cell phone. And if you don't have their contact information in your cell phone because they're not that close to you, then think of, okay, I'm going to go through Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger or Snapchat or YouTube or what other means that there is to connect. And if you're telling me that you don't have any friends, go on social media. You can find somebody that maybe was from way back in the day, reach out to them, give them some appreciation, give them some gratitude. And the last is S, smile. Reflect back on what happened earlier today and think of that something that made you smile that is different from the first S. Okay? Again, KISS. Keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple, silly with this system. SLEEPS. Sleeps. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. There's a lot of tactical podcasts out there. There's a lot of great books and reference points. This is truly a game changer. This is not a feel-good story. This is not something that you know what, I'm going to just I'll think about it. I'm not going to write it down. I'll think about it. If you do not put your a pen to paper, if you do not put this down in your tablet, if you do not make this a routine, it's not going to happen. And will the impact happen on the first night? Probably, because you're excited and it's new. Will the impact be the same on the second night? Maybe not. It will start to drift away, but you need to stay focused on this system. Once you do this, everything will come in alignment. This is not going to change your life forever, but this is a legit framework, people. This is something that I'm pursuing, creating my own journal on. Basically, there's a gratitude journal and there's different journals out there, but I'm telling you, the best way to start your day is to start the night before. I'm coining that. Do not take that. That is mine, and I'm going to rock the hell out of it because this is something that we should all be doing. And if you can do this the night before, think how amazing your morning is going to be when you can wake up and look at your sheet and go, okay, I got to exercise at 10:45. Here are my top 3 items. Here's my one thing that I have to do. I got to make this phone call to somebody. You know what? I'm feeling good right now. I'm actually going to make that phone call or text that person or send that Facebook Messenger thing to that individual. And then the last thing is a reflection of the day before, what made you smile. Isn't that going to put you in a good mood? I think we can all agree, right? We can all agree that truly reflecting on this in the evening is going to feel good. We're going to feel productive for tomorrow. And then in the morning, when you wake up and you take a glance at this, don't you think it's going to launch your day into the right realm? There's a lot of other great systems out there. I'm not saying that this is the one-stop shop. Don't do anything else. But I'm saying give this a try for 7 days. 7 days. I promise, I don't swear, but I promise that it will make an impact in your lifestyle today if you start doing this for a 7-day challenge. Give it a try. I appreciate you guys. And until next week, Wednesday, be freaking awesome. Stay freaking awesome. And you know what? Let's do a little internal pride here. Let's do our awesome sauce where we stand in a position of power, put our arms overhead. I got markers in my hands, but I'm going to do the spirit fingers. I'm going to put my chin up. I'm going to close my eyes for the better vision of myself. And I want you to say internally, not screaming it right now, we're going to do a little internal subconscious mind stuff, I'm freaking awesome. So I want you to scream it inside 3 times. Feels good. Feels real good, people. So I appreciate you to the 10th degree. If you think somebody could enjoy this, if you think somebody needs this sleep system in their own personal life, please share it. Please hand it off to somebody. It'd be appreciated. And also, too, as a recap, if you haven't already, please leave a review on iTunes. It would be greatly appreciated for me, and it would really help me strive for my goal of getting 300 reviews until 2018. So, with that being said, adios, amigos. I love you. Be freaking awesome. Stay freaking awesome, and keep on rocking the heck out of life because you deserve it. We'll see ya.